The Inner Sanctum was a very popular horror anthology that first aired on NBC in 1941, but later moved to CBS. Hosted by Raymond Johnson, the show featured stories of unimaginable thrills, horror, and mystery. Unlike other horror-based series during that time, the show had a tongue-in-cheek, playful style which made America laugh just before they screamed, until 1952. The masters of the creaking door were able to produce a total of 526 spine-chilling episodes for our amusement. Radio Gold is proud to present the Inner Sanctum Mysteries.
Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup presents Inner Sanctum Mysteries, starring Wendy Berry. Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum. This is your host, Raymond, inviting you through the squeaking door for a grisly little party. Well, now for our weekly news summary of events from the other world. Slash. The Galloping Ghost defeated the marauding murderers in the opening game of the Ectoplasmic Baseball League last week. An invisible crowd of 20,000 saw the contest. Thrash. The Slimy Spooks Union is considering a strike to charge people for overtime when they scare them during the day. And, oh yes, a fake medium was arrested for saying he could get in touch with humans.
Well, that's very funny, Mr. Raymond. Now, that's what I like, when you say amusing things instead of scary ones.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, they have a very amusing time in the other world. The other day, they held a masquerade ball, and everyone came disguised as people.
Well, that's very interesting. Did they serve refreshments?
Oh, yes, they served Lipton tea. Everybody loved it. Why, to count all the cups of tea they drank, you'd have to be a teetotaler.
Well, then the other world must be pretty much like this one, because folks here feel the same way about Lipton tea. Why, more people drink Liptons than any other brand. And they don't just serve it at mealtimes either. Yes, sir, Lipton's is an around-the-clock drink. It helps lots of housewives through their work day, and it's a grand beverage to serve your friends when they drop in of an evening. And, of course, there's one big reason why Lipton tea is so popular. It's because of that famous brisk flavor. That word brisk means that Lipton's always tastes tangy and full-bodied. It's never flat or wishy-washy. Yes, folks, you just don't know how good tea can be till you've tried Lipton's.
Friends, while you're trying things, try on this rope for size. Oh, didn't I tell you we're going to hang a very attractive lady tonight? Our story is called The Girl and the Gallows. It all adds up. It's an original radio play by Milton Lewis, and our star is that glamorous motion picture actress, Wendy Berry, who'll play the role of Karen. All right, friends. On a nice spring evening like this, a few chills running up and down your spine are just what you need. So get yourself a sweet companion, turn the lights down low, put your arm around her. Oh, brother, sit back and get ready to have the wits scared out of you. Let's go.
The door was open, and I walked into the strangest apartment I'd ever seen. A sweet, sickening odor overwhelmed me as I looked around. It was a rare incense, burning in a hollow skull that stood on the mantelpiece. I looked closely. The skull was human. I felt someone's eyes on me, staring, watching every move I made.
Good evening. You're Karen Marlowe, aren't you?
How did you know?
I'm Laura Mason.
Oh, Father's told me so much about you. I had to come and see you. May I call you Laura?
Of course.
I thought it'd be best if we met like this by ourselves. When you marry Father, you're going to be my mother. I never had a mother. She died when I was born.
Yes, Dennis told me.
I can see now why Father's so much in love with you. I can grow to love you, too.
What has your father told you about me?
That you were quite an extraordinary woman. Can you really foretell the future?
Why did you come here?
I told you. You're going to be my mother.
That's not the reason.
I don't understand.
Sit down, Karen. Before you leave here, you will understand. And you'll believe everything your father told you about me.
She sat next to me, held my hand. Hers felt like ice. Suddenly, her body shook and quivered as though she were being seized by some terrifying unseen demon. Her eyes had little dancing flames. Then they were gone. They became hollow, endless, like two round black holes of infinite space. She was in a trance. Her hand held mine like a vise.
There's not going to be any wedding.
What are you saying?
I see a coffin.
A coffin?
There's a man in it. Dennis, your father.
You don't know what you're saying.
On the floor of your home, a dagger in his throat, his head in a pool of blood.
Stop it!
Murdered!
Stop it!
You struck me.
I had to wake you out of that horrible trance. How can you say such awful things?
They're true.
They can't be.
But they are. I still remember the last vision I saw. It should interest you very much.
I don't want to hear about it.
You were in it.
I? How?
There was a figure hanging from a gallows. It was you.
You hate me, don't you? You want to see me dead. That's why you're telling me this.
No.
I'm not afraid of you. You're rotten and evil and loathsome. And I hate you. I hate you. I could kill you.
What's wrong, sister?
Father.
You Karen Marlowe?
Just as she said. The dagger in his throat. Murdered. Father.
Don't look at him again.
But he's been murdered.
Yeah, I know it. Here, drink this.
But
Shut up and drink it.
thanks. Who are you?
Rue Lark. Homicide.
The police?
Yeah. We got a tip.
But how?
Someone called in.
This is awful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough on a kid like you. Feel well enough to talk?
Yes.
Okay. When did you see him last?
Tonight. At 7. Here.
Then where'd you go?
To see a woman named Laura Mason.
Laura Mason. Was she home?
No. She arrived a minute after I got there. She predicted this.
What?
She said this would happen when I saw her.
Oh, yeah? Did you know what was in your father's will?
No. No, he never told me.
He left all his dough to you and Laura Mason. If either one of you dies, the other gets it.
How'd you find out?
We get around. 7:30, a neighbor heard him scream. 7:15, a dark-haired woman in a red coat was brought up here by the elevator boy. She was very attractive. Do you know anyone like that?
Yes. Laura Mason.
You sure?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Who made that head of your father?
I was a sculptor in Paris many years ago. Why?
Because your father mentioned it in his will.
How?
Well, he said that under no circumstances must it go to you. It was to go to Laura Mason or be destroyed. Well, what made him do a thing like that?
I don't know. Father was a strange and brilliant man. She killed him. I know she did.
Who?
Laura Mason. You know she did it, too.
Now, take it easy. Feel well enough to go out?
Yes.
Okay. Take me to Laura Mason.
Yes?
I'm Lou Locke. Homicide.
Police?
Yeah. Where's Laura Mason?
Laura Mason?
Don't play dumb.
Oh, I never heard of her.
Ever seen this lady before, Miss Morrow?
No, and I've never seen this apartment before either.
Did you make a mistake?
No, this is the building. This is where the apartment is, but I don't understand it.
Neither do I.
I told you how strange it was.
Yeah. Hey, the skull on the mantelpiece, I don't see it.
But it was here, only a few hours ago.
What's your name?
Maxine Maynard.
How long you living here?
5 years.
You must have made a mistake, Miss Morrow.
I didn't. I know it sounds crazy, but you don't believe me, do you? You don't believe a word I told you.
Let's go back to your place. The boys must have finished up by now. You'll be okay here tonight, Miss Morrow.
Are you leaving?
Yeah, I got to get back to headquarters.
You still don't believe me.
Look, you're a young kid, a nice kid. You never saw a man who was murdered before. It can bowl you over.
You think I imagined it all?
Well, it's happened before. But you'll be all right now. Good night.
Don't go. Please don't go.
Well, I've got to.
I'm frightened. I don't want to be here alone.
There's a cop in the car. If you want him, call.
I don't want to be in this apartment by myself. I've hardly ever been without my father. Don't go. Please.
Easy, kid. I'll come back if I can.
Was I losing my mind? Did I imagine a strange interview with Laura Mason? I was alone in the apartment where my father was murdered. I was too frightened to think. Suddenly, the door buzzer sounded. I rushed to open it. No one was there. I sat down. Was this something I imagined, too? The phone rang. I picked up the receiver. Hello? 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 No one answered. Was it all imagination? Had something happened to me? I went to the window, opened it. I heard the traffic far down in the street. Jump? Why not? Father was dead. My life was a nightmare. I couldn't go on like this. Yes, jump. It'll be all over. The torture, the fear, the madness, all gone. I leaned over the ledge. One move would be all over. I would jump.
Come back here.
Let me go. Let me go.
No, you don't.
You don't understand.
Never mind what I don't understand. You're just lucky I came back.
It would have been better if you hadn't. Something's happened to me. I see things that never existed. I hear bells, the phone, the door buzzer. And all the time I feel that woman's eyes on me, watching me.
Cut it out.
Why didn't you let me jump? I'm no good to anyone this way. Why did you come back?
Because I... Come here.
Don't. Let go of me.
Shut up.
You kissed me.
Yeah. That's why I came back.
You...
Let's not talk about it now.
Oh, but why?
Because you're beautiful. I wanted to do that ever since I saw you. You still want to jump now?
No. No.
Okay. I'm going to take you to a good doctor.
You think there's something the matter with me?
We'll let him decide.
But I did see that woman, just like I told you.
We've been checking. We can't find any trace of a Laura Mason. Why'd you jump like that?
The door buzzer. You did hear it ring, didn't you? That was the door buzzer.
Sure, I heard it.
Oh, thank heaven someone else heard it.
I'll open the door. What's the matter, Karen?
Oh, it's her. Standing in the doorway. It's Laura Mason.
Good evening, Karen.
Nice, queer monkey business, huh? Say, I wonder what happened to that apartment with the burning skull on the fireplace. Oh, that'd make a cozy little place for a vampire. She could invite her friends up and have a few drinks on.
Oh, now, Mr. Raymond, I just can't stand the thought of vampires.
Oh, well, tell the truth. I feel the same way, Mary. I always say that I could kill a vampire and it wouldn't bother my conscience at all. After all, I wouldn't be spilling her blood. It'd be somebody else's.
Now, please, please, there are no such things as vampires. So let's talk about something else. Something sensible.
Heaven forbid.
Well, then you just be quiet, because I'm going to give some sensible advice. I'm going to remind all the folks who drink Lipton tea that it's wise to buy the larger, more economical size packages. Oh, yes, it's thriftier, but that isn't the only reason. I mean, Lipton tea is the perfect drink for so many occasions that unless you keep a good supply on hand, you may be caught short just when you need it, such as when friends pay a surprise visit to your house. So, when you buy Lipton tea, the tea with the brisk flavor, be sure to get it in the larger size packages.
Oh, sure, and there's still a large package of murder ahead tonight, so let's get back to our star, Wendy Berry. Let's see, where were we? Oh, of course, Karen was trying to make up her mind if she was going bats when suddenly the door opened and in walked Laura Mason.
I'm Detective Lou Locke, homicide. Better sit down, Miss Mason.
Thank you. Karen, will you please fix me a drink?
Yes, but you've got to tell him what happened this evening. He doesn't believe me.
Fix her the drink, Karen. I'll do the talking.
All right.
I suppose you've been wondering about me, Mr. Locke?
Yeah. Did you know about his will?
I did. I suppose you've gathered quite a bit of evidence against me.
We've got enough. Did you kill him?
Do you have my drink, Karen?
Yes, here.
Thank you. No, I didn't kill him, Mr. Locke.
We'll let the jury decide that.
Would you care to know who did murder him?
I have a certain curiosity.
She did.
Karen?
Yes.
You don't know what you're saying.
Why don't you tell him, Karen? Why don't you confess?
But I have nothing to confess. I didn't kill my father. Lou, you don't believe her, do you? You know she's lying.
I listen to everybody. That's my business.
Are you going to confess, Karen?
What are you trying to do to me? You know I didn't kill him. You know because you killed him yourself.
Miss Mason, I understand you saw the body of Dennis Marlowe in a vision.
Yes.
The vision came after the murder. After you were known to come to this apartment earlier this evening.
She killed him. That's why she could see these things in her vision.
What have you got to say to that, Miss Mason?
I see I'll have to convince you too, Mr. Locke. You don't believe in these powers of mine?
No.
You will. Let me hold your hand.
She held his hand, just as she held mine. That same strange shudder went through her body. Her eyes again became the round black wells of infinite space.
In a moment, you'll be looking at the body of a woman, Mr. Locke. She's lying on the floor of this apartment. She's dead.
Yeah? Who is she?
I can't see her face yet. Wait. I'm beginning to see it now.
What's the matter?
This drink has been poisoned.
What are you talking about?
Karen poisoned my drink. The body lying on the floor is me. She's murdered.
No, it's a lie. It's some trick.
You won't win, Karen. My body will disappear. It's not like yours, not like any of you. You won't be able to arrest me.
What happened to her? What's the matter?
Just a minute. She's dead.
Dead?
Murdered. She's been poisoned.
Poison?
That's right. Look at her eyes.
But I didn't do it. You saw me pour the drink.
I wasn't watching you.
But you can't
I
believe
didn't
that.
say you killed her.
But that's what you're thinking.
What I'm thinking now isn't worth a button. Give me that shawl on the piano.
Here.
I want to cover her.
You don't really believe
Listen,
that.
you stay here. I'm going into the next room to phone headquarters. I'll be back in a minute.
I looked at the shawl, covering the twisted heap on the floor. What kind of a woman was she? Why had she lied? As though hypnotized, I walked over to her, picked up the shawl. She was beautiful, even more beautiful in death than in life. Then out of space, just as I'd felt it before, I felt her eyes on me. They were closed, yet I knew she was watching me, staring at me, looking at every move I made. Suddenly, I heard myself screaming at her, "You can't see me! You're dead! You're dead! You can't see me!" I couldn't bear it another moment. I ran out of the room, terrified and hysterical. She's watching me, Lou. I can feel her.
Karen.
She's watching me.
Karen, get a grip on yourself.
Oh, I tell you, I feel her.
Karen.
You must believe me. Please, believe me.
Now, look, you'll be okay. I finished my call. I want you to come back inside.
No, I can't.
You've got to. Look, if you'll only realize that there's nothing to be afraid of, you'll be all right. Come on.
Oh, I'll go. I'll go if you tell me you don't believe what she said.
I don't believe it for a minute. She put that poison in the drink herself. She knew the game was up, but she just wanted to make trouble for you. The whole thing was an act. Here's the...
Lou, look. The shawl's on the floor, but Laura Mason has disappeared. I was alone. Lou had gone back to headquarters. When he left, I could see she had him under a spell. He, too, was puzzled and confused. Just as before, the door buzzer rang. No one was there. The telephone rang. I picked it up. Hello? No one. I was being beaten. I knew it. You can fight evil when it's human. But what can you do when it's not human? She wanted me to die on the gallows. Somehow I knew I would. She was too powerful for me. How could I stop her? How?
Good evening, Karen.
I looked up, saw her. Another
I
hallucination.
said good evening, Karen.
What do you want?
I want you to confess to the murder of your father.
That's what you wanted all along, isn't it? That's how you want me to go to the gallows, isn't it?
Yes. Call the police, Karen. Tell them how you murdered him.
No.
Why suffer any longer? You know you'll do it in the end.
No.
I have patience. I'll wait. Just let me take something out of my purse.
A knife.
Yes, Karen. Dennis died by being stabbed in the throat. Perhaps you'd like to know how that feels.
You wouldn't dare.
I'd dare anything, Karen.
Don't you come near me.
You know you've got to die, Karen.
Go away. Go away.
No, Karen.
I have a weapon, too. In this drawer.
Oh, a gun. You think that'll have any effect on me? You tried to poison me once. It didn't work.
I'm warning you. Go away. Get out of here.
Fool,
No, I'll shoot.
Put that gun down.
No, I'm going to kill you.
You see, Karen? It had no effect. No effect.
Blood. You're bleeding. You are human. You won't disappear again. Not this time. And I won't see you again. Ever. Ever.
Karen.
I killed her. She wanted to murder me. Look, she still has a knife in her hand. I killed her. She confessed that she murdered my father. She wanted to murder me, too, so she could have all the money.
Is that right?
Yes.
Had a chance to do some checking up, Karen. We trailed that woman we found in the apartment you took me to.
Oh, then I wasn't wrong about the apartment.
No. We questioned the old lady, and she confessed. The apartment was a trick one she used to hold seances in. It could be changed, like a stage set. They rigged up wires in this apartment so they could make the buzzer in the phone ring and make you think you were going out of your mind.
They wanted me to confess to murdering my father.
That's right.
It's all over now, Lou.
No, it isn't. She wanted you to confess because she knew we'd stacked up a lot of evidence against her. But I asked why she should pick on you. The answer was obvious. Because you killed him.
What?
You heard me. You killed him. You waited till she saw your father and left. Then you murdered him, slipped out of the house by the servants' entrance. She came back and saw what you had done.
You don't believe that. You can't.
It's true.
But why should I do it?
Well, the money you'd inherit is a good enough motive. Then there may have been a
Oh,
point.
it's nonsense. I've always had all the money I needed.
But would you get it after your father married Laura Mason? You know, that piece of sculpture interests me. Why should he say you wanted to get this?
Don't you touch it.
Why not?
You'll break it.
No, I won't.
You broke it. You deliberately broke it. Oh, he's dead now, and that's all I have to remind me of what he looked like. I could kill you for this. I could kill you.
Like you killed him because he wanted to marry Laura Mason?
Yes.
That's enough, Karen. That's all I wanted to hear.
Lou, listen to me. I must have been out of my mind when I did it. Father was all I had. I couldn't lose him. But now that he's dead, I don't feel that way anymore.
Is that right, baby?
It happened when you kissed me.
Did it?
You can forget what I told you. Everyone will believe she killed him. I have money, lots of money. I can make you very happy.
Oh, it's gonna break my heart, baby, but you're gonna die. You've told me enough to send you to the gallows. Come on, Karen.
I pleaded temporary insanity. It failed. This is the last night. That noise. The gallows. They're testing it. Laura Mason was a strange woman. All I can think of now is what she told me. It seems so long ago.
There was a figure hanging from the gallows. It was you.
Yes, sir, that kills two of the prettiest girls we've ever had in the Inner Sanctum. Karen should have pleaded guilty to having killed her father and asked for clemency on the grounds that she was an orphan.
What a terrible crime that was.
Yes, man. She seemed like such a polite young girl, the kind of girl who goes to finishing school and learns how to pour tea.
Now, see here, Mr. Raymond, you don't have to go to school to learn how to pour tea.
No?
And as far as enjoying tea is concerned, you only have to know one word.
Yeah?
Lipton. Yes, Lipton tea has a special, full-bodied taste. It always tastes fresh and tangy and bracing, never flat or insipid. Tea experts sum it all up by saying that Lipton tea has a brisk flavor. So, folks, try Lipton's and see what a big difference that brisk flavor makes.
A word of advice, naturally. If you wake up in the morning and feel like stretching, and go hang yourself, bud. By the way, this month's Inner Sanctum mystery novel is The Lucky Stiff by Craig Rice. Oh, yes, and next week's Inner Sanctum mystery story directed by Hyman Brown and brought to you by Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup. Next week's story will be about a pair of young lovers who don't think two can live as cheaply as one. So they murder a rich old man. Oh, isn't that ducky? I wouldn't be surprised if she sits on his lap in the electric chair. Oh, well, now it's really time to close that there squeaking door until next Tuesday. So until then, good night. Pleasant dreams. Unfortunate.
Folks, these busy days, we all want to save time when we prepare meals, and yet we don't want to sacrifice that good homemade taste. Well, that's just the time to serve Lipton's noodle soup. Lipton's is quick and easy to prepare because it comes in an envelope. You just empty the contents into boiling water, and in no time at all, soup's on. And Lipton's has a real homemade chickeny flavor. It tastes just like the chicken noodle soup you'd make right in your own kitchen. It's economical, too. Lipton's costs less and makes more than canned soups. So don't forget Lipton's noodle soup. And don't forget to tune in next Tuesday night for another Inner Sanctum mystery.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Let's take a short intermission. The Best of Dimension X from Radio Gold. Dimension X was the first sci-fi anthology series to utilize published stories from established science fiction authors, which gave the series an instant status of credibility to hardcore fans. In a few seconds, we'll return with another exciting episode of the Inner Sanctum. Stay tuned.
This is your host of the Inner Sanctum. Welcome through the squeaking door. Well, I hope you've spent a nice, quiet week building up your nervous systems. You're going to need plenty of red corpuscles to digest tonight's gory little dish. What's that? Oh, you'd like to have a recipe. To a small quantity of apprehension, add a pinch of dismay and cook on a slow fire. Adding dread and panic in appropriate quantity, then throw in a dose of terror and a whiff of horror, and make it boil, brother. Make it boil.
Mr. Host, not a very appetizing dish. Let me give you my recipe.
All right, Mary.
Well, take equal parts of warmth, good cheer, and human comfort. Spice with a brisk flavor, and you have Lipton tea. Yes, and serve it only to people who know how to enjoy life. For Lipton's famous brisk flavor makes this tea a grand welcome drink. You see, brisk means that Lipton's tastes tangy and spirited, never flat or insipid. So, friends, I wish you'd try Lipton's, even if you're not a regular tea drinker. That brisk flavor is something very special. It's the reason why you'll like Lipton's.
Well, now, here's a personal question. How would you like to go on a honeymoon? Well, you're going on one whether you like it or not. Because tonight's story is called Till Death Do Us Part. It's an original radio play by Emil Tepperman. And our stars tonight are Ann Shepard and Larry Haynes. Just look at them. Joe and Nancy Page. Married hardly 5 hours. And parked at the side of the road by the bank of the old mill stream. And whispering sweet nothings to each other. Living in a fool's paradise.
Oh, gee, Nancy, it's wonderful to be married to you.
Oh, darling.
Gosh, if the other clerks at Scott's department store could see us now.
I don't want anybody to see us. I just want to be alone with you, Joe, for the rest of my life.
Gosh, baby, I hope you don't mind spending a honeymoon in a tourist cabin instead of a swanky hotel.
Joe, I love it this way. The stream rushing past, the moonlight shining on the bridge, and the woods all around. Joe, look, there's another car. They're parking on the bridge.
Well, he's turning his headlights out, too. They think they've got privacy because they can't see us parked here.
Joe, look. That couple is getting out of the car.
Yeah. For a walk on the bridge, I guess. Wonder if this is their wedding night, too.
Oh, that's a gorgeous couple. Joe?
What?
The couple, they're acting very strange.
They're having an argument.
Joe, look what he just took out of his pocket.
Holy mackerel. A gun.
He's pointing the gun at her. Joe! He shot her in the face.
Holy mackerel. No, it can't be. It must be a gag of some kind.
But you saw the flashes when he fired the gun. And see how still she lies. Her body crumbled at his feet.
Yeah. He's picking her up. I bet he's going to throw her in the...
Joe, don't let him!
Nancy, you push my hand down on the horn, he sees us.
He's coming across the bridge.
Heading for us.
What?
He knows we witnessed the murder. He's got to kill us, too.
Oh, quick, stop the car.
Stay here before he can turn the car around.
Then what'll we do?
Oh, we'll duck into the woods. Come on. Quick. Let's run.
My high heels, I can't run fast.
Oh, here's through these bushes. Get behind this tree.
He's getting out of his car. Joe, he has the gun. He means to kill us.
He's coming straight for this tree.
Oh.
He knows we're here. Nancy, we've got to run for our lives. Here, take my hand. Come on.
shooting at us.
Run, Nancy. Faster. Faster.
Joe, I'm tired. I can't go much farther.
We can't stop. He's close behind us.
They're gaining on us.
No, nobody's still after us.
Oh, let's stop. Red.
No, not yet. I saw headlights up ahead. Maybe there's a road. We can only make it.
Joe, I'm through. I can't go anymore.
Nancy, look. Through the trees. The road. Come on, one last sprint. Here's the road. Let's stop.
I never thought we'd make it. Is he still after us? Coming through the woods?
I don't know. We'll stop the first car that comes along. Oh, now take it easy, baby.
I was just thinking of that poor girl lying dead on the bridge.
Our wedding night, too. Here comes the car. I'll stop it.
It isn't stopping.
He went right by.
Joe.
What?
I think I hear something behind us. In the woods.
Oh, it's only the wind and the trees.
Suppose he should suddenly step out of these woods with his gun.
Maybe he gave up. Maybe he went back to take care of that body.
Our car's there. With our marriage license in the glove compartment and the receipt Mrs. Swenson gave us for the cabin.
Yeah. He'll know all about us. Who we are, where to find us.
And we do not think about him except his face. The face of a murderer.
Come on, Nancy. I think we've got to start walking. We've got to get to the cabin and phone the police.
How much further, Joe?
Just around the bend.
I'd like to lie down and sleep right here on the road.
Fine way to spend a wedding night.
Darling, look. We're there. Swenson's cabin. See, they're all dark. Everybody's asleep.
We'll wake up Mrs. Swenson. Use her phone.
Joe.
What's the matter?
Look, in front of our cabin.
What? Hey. That's our car.
The murderer must have come here by another road to wait for us.
I don't see anybody around.
Maybe he's in the car.
Wait here, I'll go and see.
No, Joe, he'll kill us.
No, don't worry. We both saw his face. He's got to kill us both. Don't you see, baby, if I go over there alone, he won't show till he knows where you are.
But, Joe,
Take it easy, will you? You stay back here in the shadows. It'll be all right. It's okay, Nancy. The car's empty.
Maybe he's hiding somewhere close by.
No, we must have skipped out.
Why'd he bring our car back?
Well, he wanted to get away from the bridge. Don't you see, he must have dumped that girl's body in the river, and then he took our car away. No trace.
Joe, I'm scared. Maybe he's hiding inside the cabin waiting for us.
No, be a sap. One shot would wake up all the people in the other cabins, Mrs. Swenson, too. You know, he'd never get away with it. Come on, we'll go in our cabin, get cleaned up, then we'll use the phone. The switch is right here. There. See? There's nobody hiding. Holy mackerel.
What is it?
Oh. Over there. On the bed.
What?
The girl's body. With her face shot away. Just like we saw on the bridge.
Imagine coming back to your cabin on your wedding night and finding a corpse on your bed. A beautiful corpse who'd had her face lifted without going to a beauty parlor. Don't worry, before the night's over, the murderer may have his face lifted, too, by a rope around his neck.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry for those two young people.
Oh, Mary, you're always feeling sorry for our characters. Why don't you sing a different tune?
Would you really like me to? Because I do know a different tune. I mean that new Lipton tea jingle. Like lots of folks, I've been hearing it on the radio this week, and, well, I'd kind of like to sing it myself. So, won't you help me out there on the organ, please? Sing a song of Lipton's, Lipton T-E-A. Always brisk in flavor, B-R-I-S-K. Never wishy-washy, no, 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 siree. So sing a song of Lipton's and buy Lipton tea.
Very, very good, Mary. Why, that's the first time I felt like tapping my foot since I turned up my toes.
Well, folks, I don't sing too well, but you'll admit that the song has a real catchy tune. And you know, I like the part that goes, always brisk in flavor, B-R-I-S-K. But goodness, most of us have known for a long time that Lipton's has a brisk flavor. So, folks, listen for the song on your radio and see if you can't sing it better than I do.
Now, let's get back to that cabin. See how Joe and Nancy are getting along with their uninvited visitor, the corpse in their cabin. Yes, it's one of those times when two's company and three's a shroud. I wonder what they're going to do with her, don't you?
Now, listen, Nancy, we have to think this over. We're in a jam. For the love of Pete, Nancy, this is no time to faint.
Oh, darling, it's awful. Her face shot away.
Don't look at her. Here, sit down.
Joe, what'll we do?
I don't know. I have to think. Oh, on our wedding night to have a thing like this happen.
Why did he leave her here?
To put us in a spot. The cops will never believe our story now. They'll think we killed her.
We? But, Joe, we never saw her before in our lives.
Nancy, we've got to get rid of her.
What?
Sure, we've got to take her back. Back to the bridge and dump her right back on the murderer.
No.
It's the only thing we can do. Suppose the cops come here and find her. They'll grill us for hours. They'll hold us for the inquest. It might take a week, 2 weeks. A fine way to spend a honeymoon in jail.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Sure, we've got to do it. We've got to take her back.
But that means we have to lift her up and carry her.
I'll carry her, baby. But you'll have to help.
Oh, no, I couldn't.
You've got to, honey.
What must I do?
Now, look. You go out and get the back door of the car open, and I'll bring her out.
Joe, they'll find us here with the body.
Quick. Throw the blanket over her. I'll see who it is.
I can't go near her.
Do as I say. Quick.
I'll try. Give me a minute.
Who is it?
It's I, Mrs. Swenson.
Mrs. Swenson. Have you got her covered up?
The blanket, it's too short.
Just a minute, Mrs. Swenson. Her feet are sticking out. Get those clothes out of the valise. Throw them on top of her.
That's the best I can do.
All right, sit on the bed in front of her feet.
Please, hurry, Mr. Page.
Coming, Mrs. Swenson. Everything okay, Nancy?
Yes, but I feel faint.
Oh, bite your lip. Do anything, but don't faint now. Good evening, Mrs. Swenson.
Good evening, Mr. Page. I hope I'm not intruding. I saw your light, so I knew you weren't asleep yet.
We were just going to sleep. Weren't we, Nancy?
Yes. I should have thought you'd be asleep long ago. See, I brought you a jug of my own homemade apple cider. I'll put it right here, and some glasses, too.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Swenson.
That's awfully nice of you.
Oh, not at all. It's so nice to have a honeymoon couple. I wanted to do it earlier, but my heart was bothering me. I have a bad heart, you know.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry to hear that, Mrs. Swenson. Well, thank you. Thank you for everything.
Well, aren't you going to try my cider? I thought you'd like to drink it toast.
Well, we're not very thirsty right now, Mrs. Swenson. Are we, Nancy?
No. Of course not. Well, now I'll run right along and leave you both strictly alone.
Yes. Well, good night, Mrs. Swenson, and thanks again.
Good night, Mrs. Swenson.
Oh, you poor dear. You look all tuckered out sitting there on the bed. I bet you don't even know how to make up a bed. Here, I'll make it up for you.
Oh, no.
Well, it's the least I can do. Now you just sit over here on the chair.
No, please don't.
Oh, why?
Well, she means please don't bother.
Well, it's no bother at all. Oh, now look at all those clothes all thrown around. Oh! What's this?
We can explain everything, Mrs. Swenson.
Shot. She's been shot in the face. Murder.
No, please, Mrs. Swenson, it's not what you...
Murder.
No.
You're no honeymoon.
No.
You're murderous.
No, stop that.
Let me go.
Shut up. Stop that.
Joe, look out. She's smothering her. Joe, your hand.
I'm just trying to stop her yelling. Please, Mrs. Swenson. Stop it.
Joe, what happened?
I don't know. She just went limp and slid down on the floor. Mrs. Swenson. Mrs. Swenson, are you all right? Mrs.
Joe, what is it?
She's dead.
Joe, you killed her. You smothered her to death.
I'm a murderer. Me, Joe Page, a killer. We started out on a honeymoon, and now I'm a murderer. I'm a murderer. Isn't that a laugh?
Joe!
I was kind of dizzy for a second.
Please. Please, darling. You look like a ghost. You're trembling.
Nancy, what are we going to do?
Are you sure she's dead?
Yeah. Look at her face. Sure she's dead. And that one on the bed. We're in a jam, Nancy. In a jam.
Darling, I wish I were dead, too.
They'll hold us for murder, Nancy.
But it was an accident. You didn't mean to kill Mr. Swenson.
Yeah, but how will we ever prove we didn't kill the other one, too? We'll never be able to find that guy with the black road, so the cops will pin the rap on us.
Joe, take me out of here. I can't stand it. Her on the bed, Mrs. Swenson on the floor. Oh, let's go way far away.
You mean run away?
Yes. Anything, but let's not stay here. I won't go to jail. I won't. Take me away.
Yeah, sure. Sure, we'll get out. We'll keep going. Nobody knows our names. They can't trace us.
No.
Come on. Get the clothes packed.
Joe, I can't close this valise.
I'll close it. You get the other one packed. And don't forget anything. Look under the bed.
Yeah.
Be sure we don't leave a single thing behind.
No, we mustn't leave anything behind. Everything's packed, Joe. Hurry now. Hurry.
Yeah, all right. I'll take the bags. You put the lights on.
Yeah.
And snap the catch. We'll lock the door. Hey,
What? What's wrong?
I just thought. Our fingerprints. All over the place.
What'll we do?
We have to wipe them off. Off everything. Grab a towel. We'll wipe everything in sight.
Wiped everything, Joe, I think.
The bedstead?
Yeah?
The bathroom? The faucet?
Yeah.
The doorknobs? Dresses?
Yeah.
And the water pitcher?
Yes.
Well, I guess that's all. Let's go.
Joe, cider jug. We didn't wipe the cider jug.
Well, we didn't touch it.
I'll wipe it anyway.
Okay. Snap it up, will you?
Okay.
All right. Come on. Oh, I'll feel better in the car out on the road.
Got anything?
I don't know. I can't think. I'm numb all over.
Oh, my darling.
Holy mackerel, Nancy. I'm a murderer. A killer running away. Oh, we shouldn't have done it. We shouldn't have run away.
Joe, it's not as if you killed her on purpose. It was an accident.
Nancy, do you realize you're married to a murderer?
No, it wasn't murder.
It was so easy. So easy to kill. I never thought it could be so easy. All I did was to hold my hand over her face.
Joe, please.
What time is it?
It's almost 2 o'clock. We've been driving for an hour.
Got a cigarette?
Yeah.
I think there are some in the glove compartment.
Yeah, I'll get them. Joe.
What?
Our marriage license.
It's gone.
What? You sure?
It's gone, Joe. It was right here.
The murderer. He took it.
Why? Why would he take our marriage license?
I don't know. I can't think straight anymore.
Joe, he knows our names. He knows everything about us. Darling, there's no use running away. He knows who we are. We'll always be at his mercy.
Oh, I feel all in. I can't drive anymore. I've got to rest and think.
Pull up at the side of the road. Look, see? Up ahead, a gas station close to the night. We'll park there.
Yeah, I know. I wish I could sleep. I wish I could sleep for 100 years.
My poor Joe. Here, put your head on my shoulder.
First night of our honeymoon. And maybe the last.
Joe. Joe, it's 6 o'clock.
Oh. Hey, it's daylight.
Yeah.
Gosh, I slept all through the night.
I guess I fell asleep, too. Oh, it's chilly.
Yeah. You should have closed the windows. Gee, honey, you look pretty with your hair mussed up. Gosh, your hands are cold. Here, let me warm them.
This is our first morning together.
Yeah. First morning together. But this isn't the way I used to dream about it. Oh, baby, how'd we ever get in a mess like this? We're back where we were last night, the same jam. Nothing's changed. Those 2 corpses still in the cabin. What do we do?
Darling, let's not think about it for a while yet. Let's go find a place for breakfast. Our first breakfast together. After that, we'll go back to thinking about it. But at least let's have those few minutes of a sort of stay of execution.
Yeah, baby, okay.
Look, there's a place, a diner.
Yeah, but I haven't got much appetite.
What we both need is something hot.
You think there's an alarm out for us yet?
Darling, let's not think about it.
No other customers inside. That's great.
Good morning. You've been traveling all night?
Yeah, all night. Some scrambled eggs, please.
Right. That'll take a few minutes. That's all right. We'll wait. So, I'll turn the radio up for you.
Your friendly neighborhood station with the early morning local news. During the night, death came to Mrs. Hannah Swenson, whose tourist cabins are located on the Bay Park Highway. Mrs. Swenson's body was discovered by Oscar Jansen, the handyman, who was awakened by the sound of a car driving away from one of the cabins. Investigating, he found Mrs. Swenson lying on the floor of cabin 3. Dr. Macklin, who was summoned immediately, announced that Mrs. Swenson had died of a heart attack. He had been treating her for a severe heart ailment.
A heart attack, and I didn't kill her.
He didn't say anything about the other body.
Shh, quiet.
The state police are anxious to contact a couple who occupied the cabin and who apparently left during the night. They are traveling in a blue 4-door sedan, license number 8N1637. Their names are not known as yet, but if they should hear this broadcast, they are requested to call at the state police barracks.
Let's get out of here, Nancy.
State police are very anxious.
What about your eggs?
Can't wait. We're in a hurry. Come on, Nancy.
What does it mean? Why didn't you mention the other body?
It's a trap, honey. Get it? They're keeping mum about the girl body.
No, Joe, I don't think so.
Well, what else could it be? We left 2 bodies there, didn't we?
Darling, stop the car, please. Maybe the real murderer was waiting close by all the time. Maybe after we left, he went in and took the girl's body away again.
I don't like it. I want to get away from here, far away.
Joe, wait. Look, darling, don't you realize you're not a murderer?
You didn't kill Mrs. Swenson. It was a heart attack.
That's what they say. I say it's a trap. Let's get moving.
No, it's too late. Look.
State troopers.
Yeah, he's coming right over here.
Sure, he's got this license number. Well, baby, I guess our honeymoon's over.
You, Mr. and Mrs. Joseph Page?
Yeah.
You're Joe Page?
Yeah, that's right.
And you, lady, you're Nancy Page?
Yes?
Well, then, this belongs to you.
What is it?
Take it.
Hurts life.
What? Where'd you get it?
One of our men happened to be cruising down by the old mill stream last night. Saw a fella get out of a roadster on the bridge carrying a girl's body. Fella dumped the girl over the rail, and our man went after him. They had a gunfight, and the fella got a slug through the heart. When we went through his car, we found this. On the back of it, you notice he wrote your license number.
Then you stopped the murderer?
Sure did. But we didn't recover the body of the girl. It was carried downstream. May take several days to find it.
Then we're not wanted for anything?
Well, your other folks were in Mrs. Swenson's cabin last night. We figure you left in a hurry. Kind of embarrassing to have a thing like that happen on your honeymoon, huh? Can't blame you.
Oh, we're free to go on our honeymoon?
Just come down to the barracks and sign a statement, and then you can be on your way.
Would you mind, officer? Just a few minutes. We want to go back in the diner for our honeymoon breakfast.
Say, what's going on here? 2 measly murders. And a happy ending. I was hoping Joe and Nancy would end up in a cell with a warden asking them what they wanted for their last meal. What do I get instead? A wedding breakfast. The crowd down at the morgue are going to laugh at me for this. It won't be their last laugh either. No, they had that already. Yes, I have a feeling that somebody's been tampering with tonight's story. Was it you, Mary Bennett?
What? Why, that's plain silly. How can you suspect me of changing the story?
Yes, I guess not. Otherwise, when our little couple was so scared, they would have tried whistling in the dark.
Whistling?
Yes, whistling that new Lipton tea jingle. Mary?
Well, let me tell you that lots of people will be whistling and singing that Lipton jingle, and real soon, too, because it's got the kind of tune that everybody likes. Just the way they like Lipton tea. So keep your ears open for that Lipton jingle, won't you? And remember, you just don't know how good tea can be till you know how good Lipton's is. So sing a song of Lipton's and buy Lipton tea.
And now a parting word of advice, friends. Our solution for eliminating crime. The perfect way to prevent any murderer from committing murder is to commit the murderer before he commits the murder. Oh, by the way, this month's Inner Sanctum mystery novel is The Whistling Leg by Roman McDougall. Yes, and next week's Inner Sanctum story, directed by Hyman Brown and brought to you by Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup. Next week's story is so scary, it's going to freeze the airways. It's about a man who's dead, but he doesn't know it. And you know, there's only one man who can get away with that. His name? Why, of course, it's Boris Karloff. That's right. Boris Karloff will appear on Inner Sanctum next Tuesday night. So, if you're planning to drop dead, wait till Tuesday. We can use the publicity. And now it's time to close the squeaking door, so good night. Pleasant dreams.
Radio Gold is a 3 9's Fine radio production. See you next time.